Look, I'll be totally honest with you. If you want to make serious money and get to $10,000 per month, you need to do dirty business. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. Now, since it's probably the first time you and I meet, why should you listen to me? My name is Fred, and only 5 years ago, I only had $400 to my name. Then, I built a successful service-based online business and transitioned into consulting, and nowadays, I make upwards of $1,000 a day. On this channel, I'm not only sharing my journey with you as an entrepreneur, originally from a lower middle class background, but I'm also showing you how you can copy me. So when I say you need to do dirty business, what do I mean exactly? Am I saying you need to be unethical and rip people off? Promise them the world until you get the payment and then disappear? Of course not. Unless your goal is to end up in jail and you don't care at all about helping people, sure, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. The reason I say you need to do dirty business is because you need to sell your products or services before you even build them. But the thing is, when most people try to start a business because they want to be able to quit their job to get to $10,000 per month, the problem is they do the whole process backwards, and that's why 99% of aspiring business owners fail miserably. Let's take a look at the two following scenarios. Mark and John both want to start a business. Mark spends 5 months building the perfect product, and then he goes to market and nobody buys it. He realizes, actually no one cares about my product. So Mark is completely devastated because he put so much thought, so much effort, even so much of his own money into building that great product, but nobody actually wants to buy it. So it's wasted time, wasted energy, and wasted money. Now John, on the other hand, takes a completely different approach. He decides to skip all of that and go straight to the market. That way, he's going to be able to conduct some market research. He started reaching out to potential customers and asking them what they wanted, what problems they were facing, what keeps them up at night, and if they could be given a solution, what would they like to get exactly. So people told him what they needed. And so then, with all the information that John has gathered about his niche, he comes up with his own offer. He's not building the product yet, remember that. He hasn't even figured out a way to deliver the service yet to his customers, but he starts reaching out to potential customers and he starts booking a few meetings. And because he knows how to talk to his market, because he did the proper research, he actually signs a few customers. He gets his first few paying customers and he makes a few $1,000s. And then, with the feedback he gets from these calls, he's able to start building the perfect product or service. So I used this funny story to illustrate why you need to sell your service or product before you even worry about building it or delivering that service. And that's actually a story based on what actually happened to one of my clients. Before deciding to work with us, he spent months trying to come up with the perfect product, but nobody bought it. So I told him to look at things differently. I told him you need to first go to the market, figure out what they want, and then you sell it to them. And so that's exactly what he did. And he was able to sign his first few customers, and nowadays he's scaling his business beyond $15,000 per month. And he started less than a year ago. Now, to help you, I've recorded a free video in which I share with you everything I did step by step to make upwards of $1,000 a day with a very beginner-friendly business model. And in that same video, I'm also revealing the only 3 activities you need to focus on if you want to make serious money. I will leave the link for you in the description below. Now, if you are part of that minority of ambitious individuals who wants to quit their 9-to-5 and you're committed to building your business so you can become financially free, you can directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if you qualify for working with us closely. If you want to be wealthy, if you want to make $10,000 per month, $20,000 per month, even more than that, you need to solve a painful problems for people. That is what will get you paid. It's not working on your passion or thinking that you need to do this thing or this thing. Nothing matters other than giving people exactly what they want, but on top of that, solving painful problems for people. The bigger the problem that you can solve for people and the more urgent it is, the more money you're going to be paid for it. And so there's no use trying to build a great product, whether it be a course, an ebook, or even trying to come up with the perfect possible service delivery method if you haven't even signed customers yet. Because the truth is, until you go to market, you have no idea for sure what people want. And I learned this from extremely successful mentors. And by extremely successful, I mean people who are making multiple millions of dollars per month. So when it comes to business and making money, these people, they knew what they were talking about. And so when it comes to business, what all my mentors had in common is that as long as they tried to sell something which they believed people wanted, but without even asking people first, they barely made any money. Because the truth is, nobody was interested. You have to understand that people vote with their money. Somebody can tell you, oh, your offer is amazing, I love it, it's such a great product, but if they haven't purchased it themselves, it means jack shit. Do not take their opinion into consideration. People vote with their money. It's that simple. If you have an offer and you're struggling to sell it, maybe you're making 1 to 2K per month, but you struggle to scale your business, it can be for 3 main reasons. The first is that you're selling your offer but to the wrong people. So it's a good offer, but it just doesn't resonate with your prospects. So in that scenario, it would be like trying to sell meat to vegans. It's not going to work. The other mistake is having the right offer, showing it to the right people, but you lack visibility. Not enough people know about you and about your offer. And the third problem can be that you're simply selling something which people don't need and don't want. And lots of e-com businesses struggle with this. They're going to create, let's say, a new product, and then what can happen is that nobody's interested. It's a huge failure. And so now the company has wasted probably millions of dollars on a product which no one cares about. So to avoid this, Steve Madden, the shoe company, came up with a genius strategy. Instead of manufacturing 100,000 new shoes from the get-go, they simply made a few and they put them on display in a few stores, and if customers walking into the shop were interested in that specific pair of shoes, the seller in the shop would write down their details, their phone number, their email, their name, and once they gathered enough data, once they figured how many people wanted to buy this new pair of shoes and also what size they needed, then they started to manufacture them massively. And that's a much smarter way to go about things to test new products instead of just trying to build the product or even the service before you even sell it, before you even know if people have an interest for what you have to offer. For an e-commerce company, the worst thing that you can do is to have a lot of unsold inventory because it's wasted money and now you need to do something with it. But if you sell services or coaching, consulting, that is still applicable to you. If you often watch my videos, then you already know that not every business model is created equal. To give you an example, plenty of people try to start a dropshipping business, but the problem with this kind of business is that profit margins are extremely thin, between 5 to 20% at most. So even if you made $10,000 in a month, you would only keep $500 up to $2,000, and that's before taxes. So at the end of the month, when we do the math, you might have made $10K, wow, it's impressive, but you're literally making less money than somebody working full-time at a fast food joint. So is it really worth it? I don't think so. Now on the other hand, if you are selling a service or coaching, consulting, not only do you get to charge high-ticket prices between $500 up to $5,000 per client, depending on what you sell and who you sell it to. Some offers even sell for $10,000, like there's really no limit. But on top of that, most of it is profit. You typically keep between 80 to 95% of what you make. So if you made $10,000 per month with services or coaching, you would keep $8,000 to $9,995. Again, if you want to figure out how to sell services or coaching, consulting, I invite you to check out the free training in the description below as soon as you're done watching this video. Now, if you want to get to 10K per month, the most efficient way to do that is by selling high ticket prices. If you wanted to get to 10K per month and you were selling a $50 product, you would need to sell hundreds of products. And you might think, well, because it's not very expensive, it should be easier to convince more people to buy a less expensive product as opposed to convincing less people to buy a more expensive product. But it's actually the opposite, because the more sales you need to make 10K per month, it also means the more people you need to convince to trust you with their money. And that's not easy to do regardless of what you sell. So when you charge high ticket prices, let's say you had an offer for $2,000 per month. In fact, back in 2022, when I had my Done For You lead generation service, at first I charged $300, then I charged $1,000, and then I was charging people $2,000 per month for my services. And I was working with a handful of customers. So you only need 5 customers per month to make 10K per month, which is insane to even think about. And not only that, but when charging high ticket prices, you attract higher quality customers, because people who pay you $50, they will not be committed compared to people who pay you $2,000. $2,000 is a serious investment for most people. And when something is expensive, whether it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even more, people automatically assume it's quality. If I told you my car is worth $300,000, you would automatically assume it must be a great car. Otherwise, why would I spend so much money on it? But maybe the thing is I got scammed, maybe it's some kind of old cheap car and it's horrible, not worth the price. But because you only have a small part of the information, you only know the price, automatically you think it must be an amazing car. So when you hear somebody selling a service for $4,000 per month, you think, wow, it must be a great service, otherwise they wouldn't be charging that much and nobody would be buying it, especially at that price. Price and quality often go hand in hand. It's not always the case. You will find exceptions. You will find expensive products which are trash, and you will find cheap products which are amazing, even better than more expensive alternatives. But more often than not, price and quality have a direct correlation. Typically, the more expensive something is going to be, the higher the quality is meant to be, and it only makes sense. Now, when you know that you can change somebody's life with your product or service, it's literally a moral obligation at this point to sell the prospect on your offer. The really dirty thing to do, the unethical thing to do, would be to sign somebody up as a customer, even though you know you can't help them and they won't benefit from what you have to offer. I constantly have to reject applications for my coaching program because for some people it's just not a good fit, and I'm not going to take on more customers if I know they won't put in the work and they will drag down the success rate of my program. We are very selective about who we work with. If you want to see if you qualify for working with us, you can directly book a call. The link will be in the description below. But never sell to someone unless you are deeply convinced you can genuinely help them. When I do make people an offer to work with me, it's because I know for a fact my program can change that person's life. Now, when you're selling services, you can even get started with no previous skills or experience. Don't make me say what I haven't said. It's not easy work. You won't just click on a few buttons and boom, automatically make 10k per month. That's not how it works. But you can start selling any service even if you don't know how to deliver that service yourself. Some of my customers are doing that and they're making a few $1,000 per month. Some of them make $20,000 per month. And I also know people who make multiple 7 figures per year with that same method. To give you an example of one of my customers, Akash, he came to me and he had no idea of what to sell. He didn't even have a niche. He had no basic business knowledge. And at the time, if I remember correctly, he was working some kind of a job and he hated it. He had been saving up some money, but really something needed to change in his life. He wanted so much more freedom and so much more abundance, and he understood starting a business, more precisely a consulting business, was the way to go. And so we helped him to figure out his offer and everything else. We told him how to sell, how to get customers, and nowadays he was able to sign his first 3 customers for $1,000 per month each, and he's providing, I think, TikTok edits for entrepreneurs or e-com brands, something like that. And all of that when initially he had no idea of what to sell. Now look, you need to make a choice now. Building a business is not easy, but it can change your life just like it changed mine and the lives of plenty of my customers. So if you're ready to take action, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below. And if you are part of that minority of individuals who wants to break free from the 9-to-5 grind and you're committed to building your business so you can become financially free and make $10,000 per month or even more, you can directly apply to book a call with me or my team and we'll see if you qualify for working with us closely. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower more ambitious individuals to become financially free. And when we get to 100,000 subscribers, I will be giving away $10,000.